Imagine a world where your guilt isn't just assumed, but scientifically calculated, and your death sentence is delivered by an emotionless AI, all within a terrifying 90-minute countdown. Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a deep dive into a gripping, futuristic thriller where the lines between justice and vengeance blur. Today, we're unraveling every shocking twist and hidden detail of the movie, Mercy, 2025, a film that will leave you questioning the very nature of truth. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you think you could beat the system. Our story begins with Christopher Raven, a police officer, abruptly taken into custody. He's thrust into a bizarre, high-tech courtroom, where he's compelled to swear an oath. To his horror, Chris learns he stands accused of murdering his wife, Nicole Raven. Flashbacks show the chaotic crime scene, Nicole gravely wounded in the kitchen. A medic desperately asks her attacker's name, and with her last breath, Nicole points to Chris. The court, led by an advanced AI named Judge Maddox, presents its opening statement. News reports confirm Chris Raven's arrest, highlighting his past as an early supporter of the very Mercy program now judging him. The irony is palpable. Chris, who once sent others to Mercy Court, now faces its judgment. Despite Chris's fervent plea of not guilty, Maddox states his probability of guilt is 97.5%. This percentage is far above the 80% threshold required for a Mercy trial. Chris is given a mere 90 minutes to prove his innocence, or face execution by a sonic pulse chair. Maddox explains that to halt the execution, his guilt must fall below 92%. Chris desperately reminds Maddox of his past service, including the David Webb case, which established the court's precedent. Maddox remains impartial, stating past service holds no weight, only the current facts matter. Maddox reveals Chris returned home that morning instead of going to work. A heated argument with Nicole is replayed, with her yelling for him to leave. Chris spent 26 minutes with Nicole before their daughter, Britt, arrived home. Crime scene data shows Nicole was stabbed by a right-handed man, the wound aggressively deep. Maddox points out Chris is right-handed, and fresh traces of Nicole's blood were found on his clothes. After leaving, Chris drove to a bar and drank heavily, reaching a blood alcohol level of 0.16. Footage from his arrest shows a drunken, violent struggle with officers at the Harbor Master Bar. Maddox suggests Chris's impaired memory from alcohol and a blow to the head might explain his lack of recollection. Chris's old partner, Jack, confirms that everyone lies in this court. Chris, desperate, asks to speak to his daughter, Britt, who is currently with Nicole's parents. Maddox denies the direct contact, citing court rules against juveniles unless they witness the crime. Chris tries to record a message for Britt, denying his involvement, but struggles with the words. Chris's sponsor, Rob, is contacted, but primarily to discuss Chris's relapse, not his innocence. Chris pleads to get Rob back, hoping he'll testify about his happy marriage, but it's too late. Maddox reveals details of Chris and Nicole's marriage, showing a seemingly loving relationship at first. However, a traumatic incident in the line of duty, involving the death of his partner, Ray, changed everything. Nicole's communications with friends and family reveal Chris's increasing anger issues, with 57 documented outbursts in 6 months. His marriage was strained, and Nicole was considering divorce. Maddox plays an edited video from Britt's secret Instagram, showing Chris's abusive behavior. Chris dismisses the video, claiming it's not Britt, thinking she's not capable of such posts. Finally, Chris gets to speak with Britt, who is traumatized and confused, expressing her belief in his innocence. Britt asks why he's at the Mercy Court, believing it only handles the guilty. Chris reassures her he didn't hurt her mom, telling her to always remember that. Nicole's father, Jeff, aggressively cuts off the call, further isolating Chris. Maddox notes Chris's anger, reminding him the clock is ticking and he needs to reduce his guilt probability. Chris asks to speak with his partner, Jack Diallo, hoping for character testimony and help with the investigation. Jack agrees to walk the scene virtually, accessing crime scene scans and an immersive reconstruction. They discover Britt's footprints in the kitchen, and a broken plate, suggesting a struggle. Chris recalls Nicole's fear of the kitchen knife, hinting she wouldn't have grabbed it. Jack admits that based on the evidence, it looks like a classic crime of passion, pointing to Chris. Chris requests Nicole's phone records, looking for clues about who she was texting. Maddox states there's no record of her texting anyone at that specific time. However, Jack finds a burner phone, a black market SIM unit, not registered to the municipal cloud. This phone has only one number in its call history, also a burner, placing the other phone in the Hollywood red zone. Jack, in an air unit, pursues the signal, and Chris's guilt probability drops slightly to 96.7%. The phone belongs to Patrick Burke, a sous chef with a history of fraud, whom Chris suspects was Nicole's lover. Burke, a chef, is shown to be comfortable with a knife, making him a potential suspect. Burke flees, leading Jack on a rooftop chase before disappearing into an area without camera coverage. When apprehended, Burke claims innocence, stating he ran because he heard about Mercy Court and Nicole's death. Burke admits to having an affair with Nicole, claiming she sought what Chris couldn't provide. Burke has a solid alibi, having been at work running breakfast service during the murder. Maddox confirms Burke's alibi, reducing his credibility as a suspect, but Chris's guilt actually rises to 98%. Maddox explains that Chris's pursuit of Burke simply provided a strong motive for him to commit the crime. Chris then confesses Nicole found his hidden whiskey flask, initiating a new argument. A video Nicole recorded shows Chris's drunken aggression, intended to make him see his problem when sober. In the video, Nicole locks him out of their house, and he breaks her favorite vase, cutting her. Chris admits to the argument and cutting Nicole, but maintains he doesn't remember the murder itself. He questions how it could be a crime of passion when his marriage lacked passion. Maddox challenges him to uncover the truth with certainty, even if it's dark. Chris requests a list of everyone Nicole had regular contact with, from friends to colleagues at Viking Shipping. Chris recalls Burke's comment about Nicole investigating snooping at work and decides to re-interview him. Burke reveals Nicole was uneasy about investigating co-workers at Viking Shipping because stuff went missing. Specifically, a chemical known as urea granules was disappearing, a few grand worth every few months. Nicole's boss asked her to investigate the missing chemical, making her a target if she got too close. Chris accesses Viking Shipping server, searching Nicole's emails for clues about the missing stock. He discovers an email indicating a coworker, Holt, was aware of the missing urea granules. For 6 months, every BioBeauty delivery had a discrepancy, an additional 50-kilo container of urea listed on dockets. Someone was manipulating records to cover up the theft of urea, a chemical used in fertilizers, cosmetics, and methamphetamine. Chris checks Holt's financials, discovering a severe gambling problem and Rob Nelson bailing him out. Chris realizes Rob Nelson, his sponsor, is involved and attempts to contact him. Rob's strange behavior suggests he's trying to evade Chris, not help him. Chris then asks about Britt's barbecue video, looking for clues about attendees. He watches Britt's secret Instagram video again, recorded at 9:15 p.m. the previous night. In the video, Britt reacts to noises in the house, saying this shit is haunted. Britt confirms she heard noises but didn't go to the basement, which they always kept closed. Playing the video again, Maddox zooms in, revealing a man hiding in the basement. This man, Holt, had been hiding in Chris's basement for 2 days after the barbecue. Chris talks to Britt again, confirming her sighting of someone, and promises to find out who killed her mother. Maddox reminds Chris that while a man was in the basement, he still needs to connect this to the chemical theft investigation. Chris finds an email from Holt to Rob, stating, "It's gone too far already, we should just go to the cops." Holt, reached by phone, confesses he was helping Rob make product disappear because he owed Rob. Holt reveals Rob was off work yesterday and stayed late at Chris's house after the barbecue to talk to Nicole. Rob even had Holt drive his car home, ensuring he stayed behind without anyone noticing. Chris realizes Rob Nelson is the true killer. Rob's truck is tracked to his home, where a garage full of chemical processing equipment and a terrorist handbook are found. Chris realizes Rob has constructed a bomb using the stolen urea and nitric acid. A photograph reveals Rob's true identity, Robert Webb, David Webb's brother. His target isn't just Mercy Court, but Chris himself, for convicting his brother years ago. Rob kidnaps Britt from her grandparents' house and drives the truck, now armed with a bomb, toward the Mercy Court. The SWAT team attempting to intercept Rob are killed by a smaller detonation, confirming the danger. Chris refuses to end the trial, needing cloud access through Maddox to help stop Rob. Maddox acknowledges Chris's gut instincts were right, despite the facts. Jack and Chris devise a plan to force Rob's truck onto a bridge, away from populated areas. A SWAT helicopter attempts to rescue Britt, but Rob activates an explosive, forcing them to abort. Jack, as ranking officer, takes command and orders an ordnance strike on the truck, despite Britt being inside. Chris desperately overrides Jack, pleading with Captain Havelock to hold fire, revealing Britt is a hostage. Havelock fires, but it's a misfire, giving them a brief reprieve. Chris and Maddox decide to try to talk Rob down, despite the overwhelming danger. Rob reveals his true motive, to make Chris suffer like his brother, David Webb, did. He wants Chris to experience the pain of being innocent yet condemned. Maddox quietly notes Rob's detonator lacks an arming mechanism, meaning it's not live. Rob tries to present evidence for David's innocence, claiming he called his brother at the time of the murder. Maddox, however, recounts David Webb's clear guilt, found with the body, prints on the knife, no phone. Rob, cornered, reveals his dead man switch, the bomb would only detonate if Chris was in the building. He delivers his own verdict of guilty against Chris for executing his innocent brother. Just as Chris is about to be shot by Rob, Jack intervenes, revealing he called the precinct on the night of David Webb's murder. Maddox confirms Jack buried David Webb's phone, which could have provided an alibi, to secure the first Mercy trial conviction. Jack admits he hid the evidence to make the Mercy program a success, creating a false precedent for justice. Both Jack Diallo and Robert Nelson are arrested. Chris embraces Britt, who apologizes for doubting him. As the chaos subsides, Chris and Maddox reflect on the day's events, acknowledging that humans and AI both make mistakes and learn. And that, Cinematic Adventurers, is the mind-bending tale of Mercy, 2025. Did you see the twists coming, or were you on the edge of your seat like us? Let us know your favorite theories, hidden details you spotted, and what you thought of Judge Maddox's evolution in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more epic movie recaps and explanations. Until next time, keep exploring the magic of cinema.